Namaskaram. I'm Dr. Padmanabhan, yoga psychologist. So this video program is a talk on Ishavasya Upanishads. This program has dual purpose. Firstly, the video program is prepared for the postgraduate students of yoga who are appearing the UGC NET examination. Secondly, it provides the message of the Upanishads. So the Shanti mantra or the Mangala mantra is so meaningful. Indeed, this mantra itself conveys the essence of Ishavasya Upanishads. The mantra is Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyade Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, that is full, this is full. From the full arises. When the full is taken from the full, what remains is full indeed. Om, peace, peace, peace. So salutation to Adinath, the Lord of Yoga. Om Shambhu Mahadeva. My Guru, Paramahamsa Swami Niranjanananda Saraswati of Bihar School of Yoga and Bihar Yoga Bharati. Om Sri Gurave Namaha. So this is the contents in UGC NET syllabus. The concept of Karmanishta, concept of Vidya and Avidya, knowledge of Brahman and Atma Bhava. More emphasis will be given to the contents of the subject. So let us see the important points. It is the first Upanishad among the 10 classical Upanishads and the second smallest among them. So it is the last chapter 40 of Shukla Yajurveda, relates the tradition of sage Yajnavalkya. It is known as Vajasaneyi branch, hence Ishavasya Upanishads is also called Vajasaneyi Upanishads. There are 18 mantras in total. The Rishi of this Upanishad is Swayambhuva Manu. It derives the name Ishavasya from the opening words of the first mantra, Ishavasyam Vidam Sarvam Yatkindya Jagatyam Jagat. So this Upanishad, also known as Mantropanishads. The main theme of this Upanishad is Soham Asmi, that is described in Mantra 16. I am that, I am Ishvara or Brahman. The first mantra, the Ishvara or Paramatman is omnipresent, pervaded everywhere, omniscient, all-knowing, and omnipotent. Remember the three O's, all powerful. Ishavasyam vidam sarvam yatkinja jagatyam jagat tena tektena munchida magrada kasya siddhanam. That means everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is enveloped or covered by the Lord or Ishvara. Give up the material pleasures and do not covet the wealth of others. So here Ishvara means the Paramatman or the Supreme Self. So the first mantra emphasis Jnana Yoga. So what are the three conditions to attain self-realization? This is a very important point to remember. First, renunciation leads to self-realization. And what is renunciation? It is nothing but to be free from worldly or material life and desires. It includes ahankara too. And second, Mujida, that is protect yourself or Atman. And the third, Magradakasya Siddhanam, do not covet the wealth of others. So it emphasizes for simple living and high thinking. You know that there are two paths to attain moksha. So one is the Nivarti Marga and the other one is the Pravarti Marga. And Nivarti Marga, it is through Jnana Yoga. And this is meant for the sannyasis. So the first mantra emphasizes Nivarti Marga for self-realization, in which one has to renunciate the material pleasures and do not covet the wealth of others. And the Pravarti Marga, okay, it is for addressed for common people or householders. So these persons are permitted to enjoy material pleasures or the Purusharthas, aims of life, as per rules and instructions laid down in Vedas. Now you see what is Purushartha. You see in the center, you can see the dharma. Everything starts from the dharma. So the Purusharthas are dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Out of the four Purusharthas, you know that the dharma must be the first aim of life. So it means that the artha, kama are fulfilled according to the dharma or righteously. And that is why the dharma comes first. And mantra 2, karma nishta. Kuruvan eva iha karmani jijivished shadam sama. Shadam sama. So this mantra is addressed for the householders who are unable to give up the attachment and material pleasures. What they have to do, they should perform karmas as enjoined, as mentioned in the scriptures, and make a desire to live a long life, and that is up to 100 years. That is why 100 years, because in the Vedas it is said Sadhayu Vai Purushaha. So the age of a man is considered as 100 years. And this 100 years, you know, it is based upon the Chaturasrama Vyavastha, that is Brahmacharyam, Grihastham, Vanaprastham, and Sannyasam, equally divided into 25, 25, 25, 25, equal. That is 100. So it emphasizes on the duteous living or karma nishtha. And actually, what is karma nishtha? So it means established in you doing the right karmas. This is anasakta karma, not asakta karma, to be free from the bondage of karmas. So doing karma with non-doership. Don't think that I am the doer. Actually, the doer is the Almighty or the Supreme Lord, or Nisanga Bhava or Nishkama Karma, selfless action by surrender to God. And actually, this is nothing but Karma Yoga, which keeps oneself free from the bondage of karma. Hence, only through Karma Nishtha, one has to make a desire to live for 100 years. Then the mantra 3, human birth is precious. It is very much precious. You know that for all beings, human birth is difficult to obtain. But even after getting a human birth, those who are not trying for Atma Sakshatkara or liberation, those births are demonic, asuric, and they attain the demonic world, which is covered by darkness in the form of ignorance. You know that in Viveka Chudamani, Adi Shankaracharya said that to get a human life is very, very difficult. Janduna Narajanma Durlabamatha. So, a great French philosopher, Perry Terry, had said that we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. You see, we are spiritual being having a human experience. You see the possibilities for liberation. Okay, the more or less same idea also conveyed by the great psychologist, the humanist psychologist, Abraham Maslow and Carl Roger. And they said that human beings are basically good. Since they are basically good, there is a chance for self-realization. Possibilities are there. And that is why Swami Vivekananda said that every human being is potentially divine. The divinity is already there. It will come out, it will work hard. And that is why Vivekananda always said, Uttishtada Jagrada Prapya Varan Nibodhada. Then the mantra 4, knowledge of Atman or Brahman. This you have to remember, the self is one, ekam. It is unmoving, anejad. Faster than mind, manasa, javiya. It is beyond the reach of senses, ever steady, overtakes others that run, on account of its presence, the Madrisha, or even the Vayu conducts the activities of all beings. Now, the mantra 5, nature of Atman or Brahman. You see, it moves, ejadi, and it moves not, na ejadi. What does it mean? In its real absolute state, it moves not. It is static. But its projection, the manifestation, the prapancha is ever in motion. The second is, it is far. And at the same time, it is very, very, very near. Dure and Antike. For ignorant, it is far and very difficult to attain. But to the wise, it is very near because they know it or the Atman as the very self. It is inside all this, Anta. And it is outside all this, Sarvasya. It is outside all this, being perfect, pervasive, inside being supremely subtle like space. So the mantra says that mind is one of the components of Antakarana and it is different from Atman. Now mantra 6 and 7, Atma Bhava. It is specifically mentioned in the syllabus, Atma Bhava. And what should be the Atma Bhava? The Atma Bhava should be perceive the Supreme Self in all beings and all beings in the self. You see, it is very, very beautiful. Perceive the Supreme Self in all beings and all beings in the self. So such person do not hate anyone because of the perception of unity of self in all beings and never suffer grief and delusion. And this is the Atma Bhava. And mantra 8 explains the presence and characteristics of self. This is also very important. Paivyagad, the self is everywhere, permitted, omnipresent. Shukra means white, means radiant and bright. Then Akayam, without body. Avaranam, indestructible. Then Asnaviram, without veins. Shuddham, pure. Apapavidham, untouched by sin. Kavim, all-knowing. Manishi, all-knowing. Kavim, all-seeing. Manishi, all-knowing. And Paribhu, above everything. And Swayambhu, self-existent. These all 11 are very, very important. The UGC may ask any one of them. So, and this is a great mantra 9, Avidya and Vidya. Andham Tamah Pravishyanti Ye Avidyayam Upasade. Tado Bhuya Iva Te Tamo Ya Avidyayam Erata. So avidya is the knowledge having only from doing karmas. You see, the knowledge gained through the karmas or being in the web of the karma is avidya. And those who are engaged in acts only and ignoring the spiritual knowledge, are full of ignorance and they enter into blind darkness. That is Antam Tama. And such knowledge they use their own material pleasure. Then Vidya is the knowledge gained only from studying scriptures and Upasana. And in Mundaka Upanishads, you know, this Vidya is referred as Apara Vidya. Apara Vidya is the knowledge of Vedas and the 6 Vedantas. So those who define themselves to study and practice of divine forms, Upasana, of Devatas, etc., are even worse because their desire is for powers and skills and they develop Ahankara. And those who are after Vidya alone, without karma, they enter into double Andhakara. And Bhagavad Gita repeats the same thing actually. Without Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga is futile and vice versa. So mantra 10, you know, says that both Vidya and Avidya are necessary for self-realization. It says that both Vidya and Avidya have their own benefits. Don't consider that Avidya is no. Avidya, you need it because the knowledge of karma, you need it. At the same time, the spiritual knowledge also you need it. Both we require for self-realization. So true knowledge consists of both ritual knowledge, Avidya, and spiritual or scripture knowledge, Vidya. So both types of knowledge are essential for human beings to perform the obligatory duties. It is something, you know, it is something, Avidya and Vidya is something like removing a thorn and that is stuck in one's foot. So using the help of another thorn, what we do, we try to take it out. So the first thorn that is stuck into the foot is Avidya. And the second thorn used to remove the Avidya thorn is the Vidya thorn. So throwing away both of the thorns is to beyond the knowledge and ignorance. And actually this is Paravidya or the supreme knowledge. And only through supreme knowledge you will be able to attain Brahma-Jnana. Now mantra 11, Avidya leads to mortality and Vidya leads to immortality. This is also very, very important. So those who know both Jnana Marga, Vidya and Karma Marga through Avidya, they escape from Mrityu, conquer death or immortality. And through Avidya, they attain immortality or Amritam. Vidyayam cha avidyayam cha yat tat veda ubhayam saha. Avidyayam mrityum tirtha vidyayam amrita asnude. This is the mantra. So mantra 12 to 14. Two concepts, important concept, that is asambhudi. So it is avidya, and sambhudi, it is vidya. So the worship of the unmanifested prakriti, prakriti, you know, it is jata, leads to andhagara or ajnana like avidya, and they escape from mrityu, conquer death or immortality, same as mentioned in the case of avidya. The worship of manifested Brahman, Karya Brahman, so that is Hiranyagarbha, which is Sambhudi, they also enter into double Anthakara like Vidya and they attain immortality. So one must worship both manifested and unmanifested aspects of creation. Mantra 15 is a very famous mantra. It is prayer to the sun to realize the absolute truth. Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukham. The face of the truth, that is satyasyapi hitam mukham, is covered abhihitam by golden or shining. What? Hiranmayena, disk. Patrena. This means patrena. So the worshipper says that worship sun as a Pushan to uncover his face so that I, the worshipper of truth, Satya Dharmaya, may behold you. So here the sun, who is the giver of all light, is used as a symbol of the infinite giver of all wisdom. So the mantra emphasizes that one must lead a dutiful and truthful life. Satya Dharma Drishta. This is very, very, very important. Satya Dharma Drishta, to qualify realizing the absolute. So mantra 16 expresses the main theme. Soham Asmi. I am that. I am that. So these are the characteristics of the sun. Nourisher, Pushan, and Ekarshe moves alone, controls everything, Yama, absorber of all rasas, Surya, and child of Prajapati, Prajapatya. So withdraw your rays and burning effulgence. Now by your grace, I behold blessed and glorious form, the Purusha, the effulgent being who dwells within you. I am he, and that is Soham Asmi. And mantra 17, emphasis to remember the Brahman constantly and remember all the good deeds performed. So it says that, may my breath be merged in all pervading and immortal prana, and let this body be reduced to ashes. It's a prayer. It says to pray God in the form of Pranava Mantra Om at the time of death. The same thing is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita in chapter 18, 13. Om iti eka aksharam brahma vyaharan ma anusmaran. At the time of the death, you remember and chant Om, and definitely you will come to me. That is what Krishna said. So the verses suggest that one's thoughts must be focused upon Brahman and remain detached from the mind and body at the time of death. It means that at the time of death, do not make any desire. And if you make a desire, what happens? You have to take the rebirth. So simply by remembering the God and the chanting the Om is the final way to be free from the cycle of birth and death. Samsara. So one should remember Brahman constantly and remember all the good deeds performed and whatever you did before death. Okay, it's importance of keeping the mind in a positive state, so that even if the Atma is transmigrated to some other body, so they will get a good Atma. So here mind is referred as Chitta. And mantra 18, prayer to Agni, is also a very important mantra. It says that, O Agni, knower of all our actions or all our knowledge, led us on to prosperity by a good path, judging all our deeds. Take away evil sin and bad karmas from us. This is a beautiful prarthana prayer. And we our salutations or prostrations and prayers to thee again and again. And after this, this day to finishes. And let us see what are the conclusions. So the central theme of the Upanishads is to teach the omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience of the Paramatma and duteousness, that is karma and nishtha. These are the two concepts. This Upanishads covers both the Jnana Yoga and the Karma Yoga. And knowledge of both avidya, material knowledge of karma, and vidya, spiritual knowledge of vasanas are needed to know the absolute knowledge or self, Atman or Brahman. Then only those who perform good deeds and practice their duty sincerely, abiding by truth, are qualified to reach the world of Brahman. So one must pray to God at the time of death. It's a very good advice for all. And keep the mind in positive state before death. Don't make any desire. So it emphasizes upon leading a balanced life in which we should not ignore either our worldly duties or our spiritual upasanas, etc. So we should make use of the human birth with the spiritual knowledge to escape free from the cycle of birth and death. And egoism, greed, etc. are to be eliminated by being conscious of omnipresence of the Paramatma. Especially his presence in the Mukhya Prana is emphasized in these Upanishads. And divinity is within us. So Hamasmi, I am that. So liberation is possible. The Upanishads sum up the significance and purpose of human life and provides advices to the mankind to be duteous. And when we understand the concept of this Upanishads in the simplest language, then this Upanishads is very beautiful and very meaningful. And it is a light that guides us towards liberation or towards moksha. So important questions and answers, let us see what are they. So the first mantra of Isha Upanishad emphasis to remember Jnana Marga, and the path is Nivarti Marga. The second mantra of Isha Upanishad emphasizes Karma Yoga, and the path is Pravarti Marga. Okay, and why to live for 100 years? For doing the Karma Nishtha or the right karma rightly. And what is Vidya? Knowledge acquired through Vedas and Upasanas alone. And what is Avidya? Knowledge acquired through Karma. And benefits of Avidya, escape from Mrityu. Benefits of Vidya, attain immortality, Amrutam. Avidya and its benefits are equated with Asambhudi. You see, and Vidya and its benefits are equated with Sambhudi. And Soham Asmi is mentioned in which mantra? It is the mantra 16. Mind is referred as what in the context of memory? Rightly, it is Chitta. And Sun is referred as Ushan. And the mantra to be remembered at the time of death is Om. Hiranmayena mantra is dedicated to whom? Sun. And Vayu is referred as Matarishwa. So let me conclude this. I hope that you may have got the essence of this Upanishads. So I try my level best to reach the essence of Upanishads to you. So let me conclude it. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So this is for thanks for watching. So you please give your comments, valuable comments on this video, so that I would be able to prepare more videos for you. So my contact address is here, website is here. So everything is here. So wish you all the best.